so small. Everything I'm facing is nothing at all compared to who you are. There's no doubt about it, no reason to question if I'm gonna make it, 'cause your word, it says it all. Next to you, it's so small, it's but a grain of sand. We'll just leave it right there. I'm gonna get excited because I have Gabrielle Denae with me today.
Yes.
And we are gonna I wanted to make this episode special. This is the last episode of Script Free for the year. Thank you again to everyone who has been following and keeping up with these videos and this journey up until this point. Thank you to Homegrown Studios for being my host studio and really investing time and energy into just helping me get all of this together. Thank you to my sponsor, Body You Fit, for everything that they've been doing and the care that they've been showing towards this project as well, believing in the initiative. I'm going to tell you some more about them later. Let's get into the content. Gabrielle Denae.
Yeah, I happen to be her.
Yep. It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
So, for those of you who don't know Gabrielle, she is an amazing international gospel artist from the BVI. I have known her for how long? It's quite. I know her for a while. We're actual friends and family. And that just makes this whole interview so much more comfortable for me. And I called her up and I asked her, I said, hey, I'm doing one more episode of Script Free. And, you know, I want you to be my guest on the show to make it special. Mm-hmm. And without hesitation, she said, yeah. I told her that I'm going to ask her one question. And then based on that one question, we're going to develop a conversation. I'm going to see how she feels about it, so on and so forth. And we build up from there. She made the decision to not know the question. Very brave choice.
I'm like, oh Lord, what did I do? I felt like I shouldn't get the question before.
So she does not know what I'm going to ask her. But it's going to be in line with the theme that I have been speaking about for this year. For those of you just tuning in, or if this is your first time watching Script Free, my name is Jovan Klein, and Script Free is just a platform where I talk about my journey to live right, my journey to figuring out this life stuff, and everything that comes with it. Yeah? So let's get into it. So, Gabrielle, you are someone who I see as a very purpose-driven person. You have made a lot of achievements. You've won a lot of awards. You have ministered to so many people. Probably just about everyone in the BVI. You have albums. You have a lot of content to you. You have gifts of speaking. You have gifts of when it comes to instruments.
He can make somebody sound so good, like this guy.
It is what it is. You got all of that going on. You know, unlike people like me, I can open my mouth and hold a little note.
Wow.
But I cannot. Don't put me in front of a piano and tell me to follow or drums. I can't sing and play a drum at the same time. You witnessed that for yourself that one time. It don't work. So I got what I got, but you got all of this going on. So my question for you really is, with all of the purpose that God has given you, or let me ask this first actually. Okay. Do you recognize that you have purpose to your life?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. If I didn't, life would be kind of pointless because, like, why am I here? But purpose. So I definitely recognize that there is purpose to my life.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, you feel like you know what that purpose is?
I feel like I know components of that purpose, and I feel like the purpose in our lives is something that kind of evolves over time, and presents itself differently over different stages of life. So to say it's just one purpose, I don't think I can say it's just one. But I can tell you what are some of the bits and pieces that make it up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know I said one question. Those are the build-up
You
questions.
warming me up.
All right. So the question that I really want to get into, being someone who acknowledges purpose in their life and someone who feels like they have recognized what that purpose is, or like you said, components of that purpose. Do you feel like your purpose gives you peace? Like exercising that purpose in the operating in that vein of your purpose. Do you think, or do you feel like operating in your purpose gives you peace?
I would say it's the best place to be.
It's the best place to be.
It's the best place to be. You know, people talk about heaven on earth. I feel like that is the definition of heaven on earth. Even though it's not a physical place, the state of being in your purpose, or I think that's the best feeling you can ever have.
So now, is the best place a peaceful place?
Well, I wouldn't say always peaceful, because in executing your purpose or living out your purpose, there's gonna be forces that kind of come against you in that place, and that can make it a little unrestful. However, you do have a decision to still be at peace. I think that's an interesting concept, because not because it's not peaceful outside means that you are not peaceful inside. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
So I still think that level of peace still exists, even though being in your purpose can be stormy at times. Let me put it that way.
I like what you just referenced there, with things around you being a bit in chaos, but you still having peace. Then you said things around you being stormy, so it's almost as if when you are operating in your purpose, you are the eye of the storm.
Yes.
And then wherever you are operating, that's where that calm would be.
Yeah, and it's perpetually there. Or at least it should perpetually be there. Never changing. It doesn't matter about the outside at all. It should always be that way.
On the inside.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, God bless you.
This guy is good.
So my take on it, I have found peaceful moments in my purpose, but I haven't found that my purpose gives me peace.
Really?
I haven't found that.
Okay.
And I recognize my purpose, and I'm okay with it, speaking, creating, helping in certain areas, working with young people, I recognize that as my thing, and I love it, I appreciate it. But I don't think that gives me peace. For a long time building up to that, I expected knowing what I had to do, or knowing what I was called to do, or finding that purpose would give me this sense of freedom, where I could just be and go and grow and skip across in the fields and live a pretty life. And I haven't found that. But what I do definitely agree with, before I go into more on my side, I definitely agree with the fact that many times I have had to be the eye in the storm that's around me, where situations are happening and I've had to be the one to step in and add calm to the situation. And the only way I was able to do that was to have that inner calm, that inner reassurance, that inner confidence. So that's something I didn't think about it before, but that is something that definitely comes with the certainty of knowing what you're about. Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. So now, you see, now when it... How do you maintain that inner peace?
I guess it's staying connected to God, as cliche as that would sound. Because He is the one who has been revealing my purpose to me over these years, and grooming me in my purpose over these years. So staying connected to Him and what He's saying in the moment, or in the situation is, to me and for me, what's most important in keeping the peace. Because if I'm not connected, I could lose the peace very easily. Even though I might be in purpose, so I could see that this is something that lines up with my purpose. If I'm not connected, I'm gonna be a mess. And it makes sense because my purpose is an extension of God's purpose. So I have to be connected in order to maintain the peace. Otherwise, I would be a mess. I would lose the inner peace. I would not be the calm and the storm. I would be taken over by the elements around me.
So then maybe you could help me here. And I want to make it clear, Gabrielle has the right to her opinion and her experience. Having her here is not me saying this is a God or a purpose expert sitting down next to me. This is an individual on their journey that is giving us the opportunity to get some insight on how they've experienced life. Yeah. So you can help me with this, because when you say staying connected to the source or staying connected to God, a big question that a lot of people could hit is, what is God? Who is God? Like,
is that a question we want to address right now?
No, yeah. Because it's real. It's real. Because a lot of people associate God with church. So, okay, staying connected to God, I need to go to church. A lot of people associate God with, all right, I need to pray more. So staying connected to God means I need to pray more. And you do those things, and sometimes you still find yourself in a abyss. You still find yourself in a sunken place, a dark place. You still find yourself feeling disconnected. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, and then you could help me, understand your side of it some more. My version of staying connected comes in different ways sometimes. I have to pay attention to where was I the last time I felt connected, or what am I being pulled to do? What is calling me? Because we all hear. I honestly believe we all hear, and it's not hearing a voice or something like that, but we all have a urge. We all have instinct. We all have instinct. And that instinct is a call. That instinct is our nature or spirit hearing, what life is calling us to, what God is calling us to, And some people say they don't believe in God, but they believe in karma, they believe in, the universe, they believe in, the laws of physics. I believe they're all one and the same.
They tie into each other.
I believe they're all one and the same. Maths doesn't exist without God.
Of course not.
And God exists within the maths that we study, that we know. So getting connected, if you're talking to somebody who has no idea what that looks like, what would you tell them to do about that?
Have no idea of how to get connected or what connected even means.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you mentioned a couple things that people believe in, so let me just give a foundation of where I'm coming from. Let's say we're talking about staying connected with God, the God of the Bible. And they tell us in church that He's everywhere. It's kind of hard to understand what that really means, that He's everywhere. What are you talking about? How can somebody or something be everywhere all at the same time? But staying connected, I would say, for me, no, you're not asking for me. You're asking for somebody.
But you share. It's all good.
Okay, let me start with that. Maybe it'll help me to answer for them. For me, like for example, I recently had a baby.
Yes.
Right? And my time schedule is now a little bit different. Prior to having the baby, I had a certain, get up in the morning, nice and fresh, and you spend your time with God, you go out and you feel good in the day. But what happens when you don't get a good night's sleep and there isn't the regular get up at 5 o'clock and the luxuries of spending that time? I went through feeling disconnected for a couple of weeks because I wasn't able to put in the work that I what was needed in maintaining the connection. And it was a little difficult because you feel like, well, I'm not able to do what I used to do, and I used to feel connected then, so that probably means I'm not connected now. But I had to learn that just acknowledging who he is and acknowledging that I depend on him for everything, finding moments to be grateful to him for what I have, what things that help me to feel connected, and like you said, the things that you're being drawn to, the things that are popping up into your mind, thoughts that come to your mind. I could hear him still speak to me, just drop a one word, or like even if I'm able to only spend 10 minutes, to know that it's a real 10 minutes and he's present for the 10 minutes. And also staying connected with God, really it's important to have an idea of his character, because prior to this, I guess I was kind of still looking at him as an authoritative person, with like a belt. If you don't do it this way, if you don't spend enough time this way, you know, you're wrong for that and that kind of way. But
punishment.
I was neglecting just the sheer love aspect of his character, and I felt released that him seeing me make the effort to even spend 10 minutes with him, he appreciated it, you know. So staying connected is not about the things that you do necessarily, but I found that being grateful, just being grateful for what I have, knowing that he's given them to me, just being grateful. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for that. Thank you for this. Help me to just keep my mind on the fact that I need him. So that's kind of how that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I honestly believe, my belief is based on the understanding that the intention of the heart is at the core of God's affection and attention.
Okay.
So you can do the most.
True.
I've been around people who have done the most. You have been around people who have done the most. And it could fall to nothing. And you could do your little thing and it's a huge deal because of the intention of your heart, you know? Something that I have found myself asking God a lot, or wishing a lot, or I'll leave that asking God a lot, is that instead of him following me wherever I go, that he allows me to go wherever he's going.
Got you.
And I walk out with that on my mind, knowing or having a confidence that after I ask that, whatever situation I come across, whatever I find myself stepping into, whatever I'm being pulled to, that, you know, this is with him, you know? So I tell God all the time, if something goes wrong, it's on you. That's how I talk to God sometimes, you know?
Oh, and as you said, I think something that is important too is it will be different for each one of us. We stay connected. And sometimes we can get caught up in somebody else's way. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about just different, like, you know, different countries have different types of plugs. To connect my iPhone, the type of iPhone I have is different to a Samsung, or is different to a Nokia. It's just but they're still gonna get connected at some point, you know. So the power source is still there, the source is still there, but the way that I have to connect to it is different because I'm different. And I think just being able to just discover your individual way of connecting with God is important, because there is an individual. There definitely is an individual. He made me an individual. There's just different things that I like. Some of the ways God speaks to me, he ain't gonna speak to somebody else, because that doesn't matter to them. Me and God have this thing where he would just drop a song for me, like just drop a song, and that would be how he would answer a question, or that's how he would inspire me for the day, or help me to know which direction to turn. And that's just a me and God thing, and it's cool because that's me. And you know, when you I'm going overhead.
It's okay.
How you are connected to your wife and how you connect with your wife and how I connect with my husband is different. Still in the confines of marriage for when it comes to God, still in the confines of a relationship with God, but just the way that we are going to relate with each other, or the way we're going to feel connected to each other, is going to be different just because we're different. So I think a big part in staying connected is, one, accepting that you are an individual, and that the way you are connected to God is going to be an individual kind of thing. Don't expect it to look like somebody else's own.
The thing that you said that stood out the most, and then we'll bring it down from here, because I think we're way over 7 minutes. I don't know.
Man, for sure.
But you made mention of the fact that in different countries, you have different outlets, you have different plugs. And it made me reflect on the fact that you can have the same product.
True.
The same package. One is made for the UK, one is made for the US.
That is true.
So inside that package, you'll have a different adapter for that plug.
Thank you, Lord.
So if you take that plug, or those two packages, you take the UK one and you put it in the US, it's not going to work. You take the US one, you put it in the UK, it's not going to work. Even though they look the same, and though they seem the same, they both need the same electricity. They both are going to be geared towards the same purpose in a sense. But because they're individual packages, the way they connect is going to be different. And I feel like that is so important to point out for people, and it's something that a lot of us could get lost in, like you said, following somebody else. You have to know your way. You have to know your connection. You have to know how you adapt to the source. You have to know how you adapt to your peace. You have to know how you adapt to your love. You have to know how you adapt to being motivated. You have to know how you adapt to being free.
And that makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, just knowing that it's such a personal connection, and it's not just like a bunch of different people have this same connection with God. It's nice. It's nice to know that this is my own personal relationship with God. It's really nice. This is how me and God connect, yo. This is. It feels good to know that although He has such a wide reach of whoever would want to be connected, they can be connected. But still, amidst the millions, I can still have something special with Him.
Awesome. We're gonna wrap it up right there, man. Guys, if you get anything from everything that we have said, find your way to connect. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be something all deep. It could just be with how you operate.
That's true.
It could just be how you do what you do, how you say good morning, how you say good evening, how you help could be your connection to your source, because it reminds you of the love that you're getting. However you connect. Know that God made you not just individually, but intentionally. And that is a fact. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Script Free. My name is Jovan Klein. This is the Gabrielle Denae. Big shout out to Homegrown Studios. Thank you to my sponsor, Body You Fit. They have an awesome facility over there in Skelton, Lock Bay, Fish Bay. Guys, do not wait for the New Year's rush to go over there and try to jump in. Get them while there's still room. Get them while you can access the trainers with time, because they will invest in you to help you make the body that you deserve to have. And I know they have a lot coming up for this new year. Thank you guys. We were here.
Bye.